doing tonight. Welcome back to Heartbreak Hour. I'm so glad you're here today. For those of you that are new here, I wanted to create Heartbreak Hour just to have a space for us to come together and chat about heartbreak and our experiences and sing sad songs and just connect on a deeper level. So yeah, we're here for another week. This week's theme is boundaries, which I feel like all of us could probably be better at setting good boundaries in relationships, and especially after a relationship ends. But I know most of us have not been perfect at that situation. So I just wanted to talk about it today. This week's question, I'll just ask it right now in case you want to put in the comments your answer if you missed it. It was up on my stories on Instagram, but today's question is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? So leave your answers in the comments if you'd like, and we can chat about them. But first song today is going to be a song off of my album Green. I wrote this one about after my second relationship, which was a really tough relationship on me. I really felt like I lost myself, and I remember looking in the mirror one day and just thinking like, oof, I do not recognize the girl looking back at me. I changed so much about myself. I really just kind of did whatever he wanted for so long, and it was really sad because I kind of lost my spark and I lost my who I was basically, and that made me want to scream really loud and just made me super sad. So this song kind of came out of that feeling. But here's my song Scream.
Chances till you came around.
that one on the album is like a lot of production, big guitars, big drums, and it feels very special to me in terms of just like how I felt when writing that song. The production really feels like angsty and emotional and just angry, which is how I felt just writing that song, and also just like about that specific feeling that I experienced. So yeah, you can check that out. It's on my last album that I put out last summer. Okay, what am I missing here? One of you said, hey, I love your music so much, I cry every time, but I love it. Thank you, and also I'm sorry it makes you cry, but that makes sense. It's all sad. Okay. One of you answered the question, I think. Okay, so this week's theme is boundaries, and this week's question is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? So one of you said in the comments, not choosing myself first. I think it's very, very easy to kind of put your needs to the side when you love someone, and it gets easier and easier over time. And the more that you love them, the more that you're willing to sacrifice, and the more that you're willing to put aside for yourself. And then you just end up becoming a shell of yourself. I definitely experienced that in one of my relationships before, where you just give and give and give, and there's no take for you. So you kind of just end up feeling completely empty and not yourself anymore. And then this person is doing great because you're giving them all of yourself. So that's really hard. One of you also said, should have walked away from my previous relationship way sooner. Felt like I gave them the power to be in control of my emotions by not doing so when it was most necessary. Absolutely. I think all of us can say that we've stayed in a relationship way too long, way longer than we should have. I know that I have done that before. I think it's so hard to leave, and it's so hard to let go of someone, and so it makes sense why you would stay so long and kind of put up with that behavior for so long. But having them be in control of your emotions, like, how can you not? Because you love them so much. And so I totally understand the idea of just like caring about the relationship too much and loving them too much, and then it takes over your emotions and you just can't control them. I remember feeling crazy in my first relationship because I was like so in love, and it really did control my everyday emotions. Like, I constantly was just upset all the time and like overwhelmed and feeling too much, and that relationship and that person definitely did control my emotions, which I learned later on is not healthy. So that's a good boundary to put up for sure. Someone said, all of your songs are so beautiful and so soft. Thank you. That's very nice. I do like going for a soft feel. I really like the way you sing. Thank you. Can't wait to see that one live someday. Oh my gosh, yes. I can't even, like, I think it's gonna be so magical to do the song Scream with a full band. I've only ever played it just with acoustic guitar, so that will be nice. Oh my gosh, my Heartbreak goddess. That's me. Hello. Someone asked, if you don't mind me asking, when did you first start to be a singer? Okay, so I first started singing when I was really young. Like, I would sing in choir in school, and I would sometimes sing like at the church that I grew up in. Both of my parents can sing, so it was kind of just like the atmosphere at home. And then I started singing a little bit more in high school when like there was choir, and there were also like singing competitions and stuff just in my school. So I would do some of that, and I really loved it, but I was so scared all the time I just had bad nerves, and like I wanted people to like my voice, but I was still learning how to sing and everything. And then it wasn't until after high school I started singing a lot more. And then basically like my producer, who's my producer now, to this day, he was planning on like making music and moving out to LA. And that's when everything kind of set in for me of like, okay, if he's gonna like go and do this, like, let's work together, let's figure out how to write songs and like make music. And so, yeah, I just started making music, and the rest is history. Then we both moved out here, and I've been doing music ever since. But music has always been a part of my life, and I also played classical piano from the age of 6 till I was 17, so a really long time as well. So it's always been around me. Yeah. Okay, so some of you guys sent in answers to this week's question, so let me read some of your answers today. What's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? And one of you said, I wish I had been stronger and done my own thing more. Time apart is healthy. Absolutely. I think it's so easy early on in a relationship, especially in your first relationship or your first couple of relationships, to become like very codependent on each other and only want to spend time with each other and think that that's the right thing. But it is so important in a relationship to have your own life as well, and to be doing your own thing and have your own like kind of identity and things that you love to do, etc., etc. And so that's a huge boundary to set, I think, early on. Making sure that you set time aside for yourself or you and your friends or whatever that looks like for you. But you don't have to do everything with your partner, and I think that's healthy. One of you asked, when and what song is your next release? Guys, a new song is very, very much on the way very soon. I can't say the date yet, but it's coming. And it's my song called Stuck in Place, which I've been posting a little bit. You'll see on Instagram I've been posting some movie scenes with it, and then on TikTok I've been posting it a lot as well. So yeah, I'm so excited about the song. I'm actually going to play it at the end of the live today for you guys, because last time I played it on here, I only had like a verse and a chorus. It was very simple. And so, yeah, that will be the next song. I'm so excited for you guys to hear it. I actually was just tracking the final vocals for it today, and they're sounding really good. But I'm very, very excited about this song. It just feels very special to me. So that's the one I want. Okay, great. I'm very happy for you to have it. It's very soon. I love your voice and your songs. Thank you. Thanks, Queen. Relationships are so hard. They are. But you know what? I do think they can be really simple and really easy with the right person. And I used to think when I was younger, like, really, you had to be fighting all the time to be in a good relationship, because I thought that was like passion and love. When in reality, like, it should not be that hard. It should be a best friend that you can communicate with, that things are simple with, where you're not fighting all the time. And it's not going to be perfect all the time, but there's ways that it can be so much easier than I think a lot of us put up with. So keep that in mind when you're in your next relationship. Like, if it's not feeling good and it's just hurting all the time, chances are it's not healthy and it's not right. And you can probably just find someone that's a little more compatible with you and maybe a little more on the same page with you and what you want as well and what they want, you know. I think like compatibility and just like enjoying the same things and seeing the world in the same way are huge things that are important to a relationship being successful and like being fun. So thank you for giving us an outlet to purge and convey our deep feelings in a pure, beautiful way. You're welcome. I love that. I'm such a feelings girl. I'm such an emotional girly. Like, I have been my whole life. I've always been an easy crier, and I've always taken things so seriously and been so sensitive. But I do think, like, looking at that as a negative before, I've now like turned it into a positive with making emotional music, because that's just how I'm built. And so yeah, it means the world to be able to share this stuff with you guys. But okay, let me give you my answer to this week's question, and then I can sing another song. So the question is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? So for me, in my second relationship, I just let him walk over me so much, and I changed so much about myself to make him happy. And looking back, I just wish that I had stayed true to who I was and was just more confident in just being me. Because I genuinely, when people say they lost their spark, looking back, I'm like, oh, I 100% lost my spark in that relationship. Like, I just had no backbone, and I don't know, it's exhausting. It's exhausting to change everything about yourself when it's not natural just because you're trying to like appease someone else. So don't do that if you're listening to this. Like, you should not have to change everything about yourself to make someone happy. They should love you the way that you come. And that doesn't mean that you don't need to work on things. Everyone needs to work on things, but it's different when they're like, you know, he changed my whole style. He wanted me to wear certain things. He wanted me to like say certain things. He made me like unfollow like celebrities that I liked because he just didn't like the fact, like, and not even a man, like it would just be like, I don't like Kim Kardashian, so you shouldn't follow her, you know, stuff like that. That was so stupid. So, and every single time I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that. Meanwhile, I'm losing all these things about myself that I liked and enjoyed. And then I also would say I wish that I stood up to him a bit more, because I didn't really tell him how hurtful he was during, like, I had ended things with us because it was just such a bad relationship. I finally broke and was just like, I can't do this anymore. But in the breakup, I made it my fault because I was so afraid to like hurt his feelings. And looking back, I really regretted doing that because I made myself small again just to like convenience him, which was the whole reason why I needed to get out of that relationship in the first place. And so I just wish that I had been honest and been like, you sucked and that's why I'm leaving, because like you do this and this and it's awful. But you live and you learn, and I'm a much better communicator now than I was at that time, and that's a good thing, I guess, that came out of that situation. Hi Daisy, how are you? Someone said, I regret allowing him to control everything we did. Yeah. I don't understand what it is, but like, what is with people, like toxic people in relationships just needing to control everything? That's such a huge issue, I feel like, in a lot of people's relationships. There's just like this level of control. Like, why do you need to control someone so bad? Like, do your own thing. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Someone said, we love a safe space to share feelings. 100%. I love it as well. Hi. Okay. Yeah, if you want to answer this question, if you're just coming in right now, this week's question is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? Okay, next song is my song called Growing Up. This was also on my debut album, and I kind of wrote this one about the realization that like the first person you love probably won't be the last person that you love. Some people have their first love and that lasts forever, but I think a lot of times when you fall in love for the first time, you just assume that that's going to be your person for life, and most people don't end up with their first love. And so kind of this like uncomfortable realization of understanding that, and then also the idea of like losing your spark and losing that like little girl within you when entering into a relationship that changes you. So here's Growing Up. she's all alone again, all grown up with nothing left, wishing on the stories to love somebody else the way that she loved him. Growing up is hard to do. You lose the love you thought you knew. From braided hair to I love you. From breaking up to someone new. Growing up, it's hard to know where all the love you have will go. Guess I was foolish thinking you would be the only one I give love to. And that's my song Growing Up, for those of you just jumping in. I think one of you asked a question, so let me go back here. Do you think people ever forget their first love? Of course not. I do not think so. I think first love is so vital to your life and growing up and experiencing love for the first time. And I don't think that's something you could ever forget. I think it's, at least for me, it was so impactful and genuinely changed me in negative ways for a moment and also in positive ways. And I really do think that I'm the person that I am today because of that experience, and not only in the relationship but after, and kind of learning how to get over someone and learning how to go through a breakup and trying to fall in love again with someone new. And so no, I do not think, at least for me, I don't think anyone forgets their first love. It's just such a powerful, impactful experience. So yeah. Okay, this week's question, for those of you just coming in, it is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? One of you said that I'm never going to beg in a relationship. If the person doesn't want me overwhelmingly, then I'll take that as a sign we can't be together. Absolutely. If you have to question whether someone wants you or not, and you find yourself begging for attention, for them to want to hang out with you, for them to do the things that you hope for in a relationship, all of the above, if you feel like you have to beg or consistently ask, it's just not a good relationship. And I think when you can come to terms with the idea of choosing not to have to beg someone to want to be there, that's such a positive boundary to set, and you're going to find someone who does see your value and does care enough. It's exhausting to beg someone to want to be with you, and it hurts so much to have to question whether they want to be with you. So that's a great boundary. Good for you. Another one of you said, so the question is, what's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? One of you said, not accepting being bad at communication as just a little flaw or excuse. They could have improved that, they just didn't want to for me. 100%. I really dislike, in a relationship or in friendship or whatever, someone just saying well, that's just how it goes, that's just who I am, and there's no attempt to try and be better when someone's communicating how they feel. I think if you're constantly asking someone to change things and adjust things, then maybe it's a different conversation. But overall, if someone's just sorry, that's just who I am, it's just how it goes, well, no, you could try. But I do think that's a good boundary, because basically early on, if someone's not willing to try to be better at whatever it is you're asking for, then there's no need sticking around. Being bad at communication is such an ick to me, though. Communication is the number one important thing in a relationship. So Good for you. Set that boundary. Okay, it's cover time. I love this song. It's been a very long time since I've played it before. Or since I played it. Probably like years and years and years because it's a little older. But this one's called Skinny Love by Bon Iver. And let's do it. I used to eat that song up. It was so good when it came out. One of my favorite lines of all time, like lyrics, is in this song, and it's, "And now all your love is wasted, so then who the hell was I?" And I just love that because it feels so like, especially the way Justin Vernon sings it in the record, but I love that idea of just being like, okay, well then, like, who the hell was I to you? Like, after all this, like, this is what happens, and it's just sad and emotional, so I like that line a lot. Okay, we're back into our questions. What did I miss? The piano with your voice is so serene. Thank you. I love me some piano. That's my instrument. Okay, question. What's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? And one of you said, I wish I didn't let him only show up when it was convenient for him. He shouldn't have always had access to me. Definitely. I think we've all been guilty of being a little too available to someone. I remember for me, like, in my first relationship, after he had broken up with me, he kept coming back over the span of, like, over 2 years. And every single time, I would just let him come back, and I would let him see me, and we would talk, and things would, like, bubble up, and then he would change his mind over and over again. It was so exhausting and so frustrating, and it was always on his terms. Like, our plans were always on whatever he wanted, and it's just frustrating and it's exhausting. So that's a great boundary to set. Do not just let them walk in when it's convenient for you. There needs to be some form of, like, respect back and forth. But okay, another one of you answered, not letting someone treat me like we're in a relationship when they don't want to actually call it one, or let them be ashamed of me. There's nothing worse. What's that, like, thing people say when it's like you're doing girlfriend duties for someone who's, like, doesn't actually want to be in a relationship with you, or, like, marriage duties? I don't know. When girls, like, go a little too far in and are doing so much for a guy and he's not reciprocating, and then he's also, like, you're not like his priority, if that makes sense. So that's exhausting and frustrating as well. But a great boundary to set up with just either you want to be in a relationship with me or you don't. And there's no in between. There shouldn't be this, like, what are we situation that lasts for an eternity. And it's convenient for that person, but it sucks for you because you want it. I feel you, girl. It's like wanting to go to TGI Fridays and it turns out it's in a hotel lobby. Fun story. Me and my friend Nick went to TGI Fridays with our little crew. We basically have a little crew that goes to chain restaurants, a new one every month, especially ones that we haven't tried. And I'm Canadian, so I never had TGI Fridays in Canada, and so I was wanting to try it. And I picked a location, and then it ended up being inside of a hotel lobby, which sucked because it, like, didn't have a full menu. The service was so bad, and the food was, like, not great. Not that the expectations were super high for a place like that anyway, but it was bad. So, yeah, it's exactly like that. Okay. Last answer from you guys today. What's a boundary you wish you had set sooner in or after a relationship? And one of you said, I had to set the boundary for myself of not romanticizing someone who didn't actually want me. Leave it to me to be an overthinker and an assumer and romanticize the heck out of something and then it's not real. I get that. I very much get that. It's so impossible not to romanticize everything, especially when something is, like, growing with someone or building with someone. Of course you're going to romanticize it. Of course you're going to assume, it's going to turn into something special. But that is a good boundary to set with yourself of, like, not getting too invested in something that isn't reciprocated. I remember in one of my relationships before, it was just such a bad relationship, but I would, like, have to convince myself that things were good and positive. I'd be like, it's fine, like, if we stay a little, like, together a little longer, like, he's trying, he's changing. That was bad, that one thing, but, like, it's okay because, like, he did that other kind of nice thing that was, like, medium good, and it was just enough. And I would just, I would romanticize everything and be like, oh my gosh, he called me last night. Like, yeah, I would hope so. What are we doing? Romanticizing the bare minimum. So if that's you right now, set that boundary up strong and do not let it come down, because there is nothing worse than wasting a bunch of time on someone who just doesn't want you. And, like, find someone who does, because you deserve that. So that's my advice on that one. Okay. Guys, I'm very excited to show you. Every week on Heartbreak Hour, I show you a new one that I've written. This new one happens to be coming out next, and you guys have been quite excited, specifically on TikTok, about this song. So I'm very stoked to show you right now. Last time I played this one, it only had a little bit to it. I think there was like a verse and a pre-chorus and maybe the chorus. So now we've got the full song, and I'm gonna play it for you guys. And I'll be announcing soon when it's coming out. But I just tracked the final vocals today for it, so it's gonna be like a little bit of time, but not super long, so don't you worry. And you can pre-save it now at the link in my bio if you want to stay informed of when it's coming out. But this one's called Second Place. I wrote it about trying to love someone after a relationship that really hurt and a breakup that really hurt, and knowing that it's over between you two, and knowing that it can't happen anymore, but knowing that a little piece of you will always love that person. Yeah, here's Second Place. coming very soon. You can pre-save it now at the link in my bio. I'm so excited about this one, you guys. It's gonna be really, really special. So, when did you start songwriting? I started songwriting, how many years has it been now? Like for real, when I really started pursuing it was 8 years ago. No, maybe even 9, which is crazy. Yeah, that's when I decided like, okay, I'm gonna really lock in and like learn how to do this. And then it took me a few years to like put music out and stuff. But yeah, I feel like I did write a few songs when I was younger though, but they were really bad and no one will hear them. Can't wait to hear the new song, Emilee. So good. Yay. Very excited. Amazing. Do you have the date already? Not quite. So I'm just finishing it up. I just tracked the final vocals today. So I need to finish it up and then it will come out very soon after that. So stay tuned. I'll probably be announcing the date like pretty quickly here. I love it. Thank you. You made this song at the worst time. Sorry, Queen. Yeah, it really is the worst to discover a gut-wrenching song when you're heartbroken. But also, I feel like it does help you through it, and that's why I make music. So I hope this will help some of you guys through whatever heartbreak you're experiencing right now. But that concludes this evening. Thank you so much for being here. I will be back here next Monday night for another Heartbreak Hour. Stay tuned on my stories on Instagram on Thursday. I'll be posting next week's question, and you can submit an answer so we can chat about it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I love you all so much. Your support means the world. And go right now and pre-save my next song at the link in my bio if you would like to. Yeah, can't wait. Stay tuned. Lots of announcements coming. So excited. Good night. Have a good night.